with the white race who want to hide where they came from and then call themselves white, not Hispanics, when you know for a fact you cannot be white without having some trace of Hispanic or Negro somewhere in your ass, because that is the origin you had to be launched from. Because the only people that the universe put on this earth was melanated people. So a severely melanin recessive person is still a melanated person, regardless to how recessive they are of their melanin.
Black race, of course, has the highest level of 12-stranded DNA system, but is blocked from passing into the higher 5-dimensional level of Torah if there is interbreeding with the humans created from animal origin, or if there's sex being passed.
See, now let's go look at this, just so we can see what's going on. All right? Just so I can show you.
But is blocked from passing into the higher 5-dimensional level of Torah if there is interbreeding with the humans created from animal origin.
Okay, now here we go. Now you look at the melanin in this woman's skin. I want you to look how black she is, how her skin is designed to have interaction with the sun, okay? Now look at her. You can see right here that that skin possesses everything necessary where when the sun goes into her, she can absorb it and use it for food, use it for information, just like the plants does. She doesn't have to be green to process sunlight into food and energy. She could be black because black is the color that the green comes from. But now look at Mr. White Man right here. He know himself when he's walking with this lady that he has a lesser quality of skin than she does. That's the reason he went and got her, because his desire is to add color, pigments to his offspring if he's able to get her pregnant. But now on the other hand, if this was a white woman walking down the beach with a black man next to her naked as hell, you know what that would do? That would cause all the white men to have a problem, and it would not go as unnoticed as this does, because he knows for a fact this black man is capable of getting that white lady pregnant, and she will have a darker child. But since I can't produce dark, I can't produce black at all, it is my sole purpose on earth to kill all the black men so I can keep these black women to myself, and also my white women too, because that's just how I think. I'm selfish and fucked up like that. So it's okay for me to parade my ass around with this beautiful black woman and be real proud. But you let it be vice versa, where it's a black man with a white woman. Everybody in the society will do everything they can to break that marriage up. But this white man with this black woman, he's so fucked up in his head, he'll probably even want his white friends to come over and tag her with him. That's just how they think. She's so less than he is, he wouldn't mind sharing her with his white friends so they could be buddies with each other. And then he's never going to really see any good in her anyway, because the way their mind thinks, black people is always beneath them. So you a sellout for even being with them, because you obviously think that black people are beneath you. You've been taught that. Otherwise, you wouldn't even want to be out here flaunting your beautiful black skin with this recessive man, knowing that if you have a baby by him, this black stuff is going to be eradicated and become less than what the universe gave you. Now, what woman on this earth would want to have a child that is less than what she is? Only one that's been brainwashed, they can't see this as being degenerate compared to this being ordained by the universe. That's what, because see, this right here will match with the soil, okay? Where all the trees and all life on the earth come from. This does not. So he cannot say he is an autochthonous being, because he doesn't have the color variation or the color pattern synonymous with being an autochthonous being. If you're an autochthonous being that sprung from the soil, then you should have skin pigments that looks like the soil.
Origin, or if there's sex being passed, particularly between the female and those humans generated from animal origin, due to the fact that the male sperm enters her body.
Just like the ladies in India. Do you see the pineal gland right here in the middle of her head? Now, you seen that with the black ladies that you just saw in India. They had the same thing in their head. Now watch when the writing and shit get out of the way. You're going to see that mark right in the middle of her forehead, like the Indian ladies wear in India, to prove that their vibrations are where they should be. Now watch, check it out.
as she being the receiver and contaminates her as particularly between the female and those humans generated from animal origin, due to the fact that the male sperm enters her body as she being the receiver and contaminates her.
You see it? You can see it there. I mean, I was hoping that I could get you a good shot without the writing being there. But it goes away
Enters
so
her
fast.
body as she being the receiver and contaminates her.
Look at it. Right there. And by her receiving DNA from a lesser human, especially one that's been spliced with animal DNA, she's receiving a recessive foreign, if you will, DNA that is not going to do anything but have a baby that is so out of whack with the true composition that it was meant to be, that they can even grow up and look down on her black skin or look down on their own hair, like what happened with my daughter. I'm putting the braids in her hair just like this lady's got in her hair, and she's crying wanting the braids out, and I couldn't figure out that all the white kids that was jealous of her hair was making fun of her. And so she growing up in a society where she has this beautiful hair that she can braid up that other kids don't have, but since they're making fun of her, and since her mother doesn't have the same hair, instead of her saying to her daughter, look baby, this hair is yours because this is what the universe gave you, and those other kids that's laughing at you is just jealous that they don't have this hair. I'm not going to take those braids out. I'm going to leave them in because your father paid $100 to get your hair done, and I can't braid your hair, so you're just going to have to deal with those kids laughing at you because I'm not taking those braids out. No, her mother was upset because I'm not talking to her ass no more, and I done got me another woman and moved on. And I took my daughter and had her hair braided 3 different times, and she had so much hair that it had to be blow dried and every damn thing to get the texture correct for braiding. And every time I did it, I come get my daughter 3-4 days later and the hair is all fucked up and uncombed again. And I'm like, what happened to your braids? No words, no words. What happened to your braids? No words, no words. I call her mother, where did you take her hair down? No words, no words, okay? So I get to the thought in my mind, she just doing that shit to get my goat. That's what I'm thinking about her mother. That bitch always doing something to mess my world up. I done paid $100 3 times to get her hair done, but she take the braids off, then she got to come on my house looking like she got 8 damn crow nests on top of her head, okay? But then it didn't dawn on me, they all jealous of your daughter, how pretty she is and that she got this hair. So her mother making her take the braids out along with the other little skanky ass white girls who doesn't have that ability to wear that. And so now she growing up to this day trying to be as white as she can and trying to overlook the black melanin that's in her skin that's giving her all the wisdom and that badass little body that she got. She doesn't even know that all that got contributed to her from her father genetics. She doesn't have a clue. And this woman looks exactly like my auntie and my little daughter that I'm talking to you about right now. And you can see the braids hanging on the side of her head right there to prove that we as melanated people have always been a part of space travel.
Her astral body as well as her ethereal body, and it is so difficult to clean out this contamination which will cause the degeneration.
You can see the lion on top of the dam, which otherwise could have been obelisk, except when it got to the top.
As she being the receiver and contaminates her astral body.
Now look at this. You see the lion, you see the sun, and you see it's on top of the Tekenu or the obelisk or the Benben stone is what it's known by. But you can see the lion on top of it, which is synonymous with us African people because lions are in Africa. So you can't get no white Jewish tribe of Judah that's claiming and hanging on to the lion without it being obvious to you that this is something that was stolen from the African nationals. It's real simple.
As well as her ethereal body, and it is so difficult to clean out this contamination which will cause the degeneration of her entire racial species if passed on.
And that's absolutely right. If black melanated people continue to keep interbreeding with white people, and white people have the power, and they keep on convincing these Semites to act with the attitudes of Mexicans, where you think you're too good to be black and you're supposed to attack all the melanin on the earth. That's absolutely right. It is a form of genocide. That's exactly what it is. Exactly what it is. And if any black man out there or black woman out there that is mixing your genetics with white people, the only reason why I would advise you not to be doing that is because of the mindsets of people on this earth. They are all trying to kill us off the earth. And by you interbreeding with them, all you're doing is assisting them in their task to eradicate us.
They are passed down to the fourth dimension or back.
Now look at this. Ancient Asia with the braids in the hair. All right? Look at the noses in the face. This is how ancient we are. And then look at here. Here is the implement or the whole structural idea of how this right here come down, see, and then goes up. It's the same thing. You can see the sun right there. That's showing you all that. See, standing behind the man, showing you his consciousness has risen. His ka, his ba. See where he's at with the star. Do you see it? Outer body astral projection. Do you see it? That's what that's all about. That's what it's all about. The energies inside of us. See the green light with the color segment there? Okay, all that is showing you our ability to use our minds to meditate and come up with the materialism and body, bring it to manifestation thoughts, and actually lead a body and astral project, travel through the stars mentally.
To the cycles of perpetual life and death on the wheel of rebirths. On the fourth dimension, they are subject to being kidnapped by the soul snatchers and have their souls taken and bartered with, as souls are the currency of this subspecies, which uses it on the hellish worlds.
All these actors and shit throwing up the Illuminati signs and all that, like they done made a pact with the devil to sell their soul to the devil. You can't sell your soul to the devil. The devil doesn't exist. There's only doers of evil. And the people that are doers of evil are going to be so busy being punished for the evil shit they've done, they won't have time to come and collect no souls they've saved up, all right? The only way that the doers of evil could ever think about owning someone's soul is by manipulating your ass into doing their quest and being their puppet and everything they want you to do, including stick your tongue up their ass and all that foolish shit they get those Hollywood celebrities to do for their fame and their fortune is how you sell your soul. Because a person that has a soul and idea of their God self will never sell themselves out like that for money and fame and material gain, because they know that the true reality of being wealthy comes from being healthy. And the only way you can be healthy is that you have a really good soul connection with your supreme inside God. As the scarab beetle represents incarnation, immortality, and life reborn over and over from decadence and decay. As the feces fall from the ass of the elephant, this scarab beetle will find use for it by putting her eggs in it and rolling it and burying it. It will have a resurrection where the little babies will use the feces for a food source, and eventually they will crawl out of the ground as new growth, regeneration. That's what this scarab beetle is all about. Life from death, just like the goddess of Set has the vulture on her head. It's all immortality, creation and recreation.
With these Aryans and Iberus, as during enslavement or rape are considered, and the work which needs to be done in order to clean their worlds. Forced interbreeding with these Aryans and